Oh, I can start now? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelsey. Um, Today I'm here to talk to you about my 4 pregnancy losses and the events that surrounded them and how it has changed me internally, mentally, physically, emotionally, and how it's affected my relationships. So, I do have a 2.5-year-old. He is a rainbow baby. If you don't know what a rainbow baby is, that is a baby that is born after miscarriage or stillbirth or infant loss. Um, so he is my rainbow. I lost 2 babies before him. I have struggled with infertility. I was married previously and could not get pregnant with my first husband. And um, that honestly had a lot to do with why we no longer were together. And then I married my son's father, and we immediately started trying. We knew that I was going to have to do treatments. So I was on fertility treatments for about a year before I finally got pregnant. My first time that I got pregnant, I found out on December 18th. And I'm probably going to cry a lot, so I'm sorry. Um, but I found out I was pregnant December 18th, and all I had wanted was to be pregnant for Christmas. Jeez, I'm gonna cry this whole thing. I'm so sorry. Um, but all I wanted was to be pregnant for Christmas. And I found out I was pregnant. And then I was pregnant for almost a week. And we had told everybody. And then Christmas Eve, I had my first miscarriage. And that was traumatizing and horrible. And I wanted that baby so badly. So the first baby that I lost, his name is Bean. And I had made a little bear, and I'd take a picture every Christmas Eve in front of the Christmas tree with a little birthday cake and candles for Bean. So Bean just turned 3 this year. Um, sorry. So, after my first miscarriage, we continued with treatments, and we did another IUI in February. That's how I got pregnant in December, was with an IUI. Not the same as IVF. IVF is a lot more invasive. IUI is just where they take the male sample and insert it into your up through your cervix into your uterus. So neither of my first 2 pregnancies were conceived through marital intercourse. They were conceived in a doctor's office. So my second pregnancy, I had found out I was pregnant, and then 2 days later I had another miscarriage. And that one, the hurt from the first one was still there so much. So I don't think I was able to feel the hurt from the second one because I was still so hurt from the first one. I don't really talk about like in depth often, so that's why it's really emotional. But Atlas's dad, he tried really hard to be there for me, but he didn't have the understanding and the empathy that I needed to feel validated, that my feelings were validated, that those babies were validated no matter how long they were in my body. So that was really, really hard because I really felt alone. And then in August of that same year, so I got pregnant in December, then I got pregnant in February, and I didn't get pregnant again until August. And that is when I stayed pregnant because we figured out that I had low progesterone. So I had to be I'd from the time that I ovulated, 5 days after I ovulated, I took progesterone until I was 13 weeks pregnant because I did not want to lose another baby. So I did that, and I had Atlas, and it was wonderful. And then the postpartum depression hit. And I've dealt with depression and trauma for my entire life. Had some really, really horrible things happen to me when I was 17 that caused a lot of trauma. And I wasn't able to deal with it for a lot of years. And I've just honestly recently been able to deal with it. So that, I think is going to help me going forward. But at the time, I had so much in my heart that was not dealt with that I couldn't deal with life. I didn't feel like I was a good mom. Bro, I feel like I'm putting myself on blast right now because motherhood is hard. And for some people, getting pregnant is hard. And for other people, staying pregnant is hard. And for me, all of that is hard. And there's just so much in life that, you don't feel is fair. But you just have to deal with it. You have to deal with the hand that you've been dealt. And one thing that I always clung to was that I know that the Bible says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So that's the only thing that I've clung to. Because I know when it is time, He will make it happen. So He made it happen with Atlas, my 2.5-year-old. But I had a really hard time because I had lost those 2 babies before. It wasn't only depression, it was severe postpartum anxiety. I literally didn't sleep for the first 6 months he was alive until somebody graciously gifted us an outlet monitor, because I was convinced that if I did not have my eyes on my child, that he was going to die. And I lived my life in fear, feeling like he was going to die and it was going to be my fault. So if you have feelings like that, please don't sit in them and let them be there. So I went to the doctor and I got my medicines upped. I've been off and on antidepressants since I was 18. And I was medicated for my entire pregnancy. And then after I had them, it got worse. So I had to go back and they had to up my medicine. And I was able to deal with life a lot better. And then, unfortunately, my ex-husband and I, we couldn't make it work. So I ended up getting pregnant again last September, but he didn't want any more babies. So when I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified to tell him because I knew he didn't want any more babies. But in my heart, all I've ever wanted to do was be a mom. So whenever I had my miscarriage last September, I think that was the start of me actually leaving, because I knew that I wanted more children and I knew that he did not, and I couldn't stay there knowing that I would be denying myself what I've wanted my entire life. So I did end up leaving after I had my 3rd miscarriage. And now my life is so great. Oh, I'm so sorry. I really have cried this entire time. But now my life is so great. And I have a wonderful fiance. And we have an amazing relationship. And he's so great for me emotionally. And I knew that we were going to have children. But I know that it took me a lot to get pregnant and stay pregnant with Atlas, so I have a feeling that it's going to, be a struggle again. But then last Sunday, I found out I was pregnant. And I was so excited. And we went to lunch. Literally, this was almost a week ago. And we went to lunch, and I had this little, hey, I'm pregnant gift that I got a couple months ago, because that's who I am. I'm not really a planner, but I'm a preparer. So I knew that I was going to get pregnant, and I knew that he was going to be a daddy. So I went ahead and got my gift that I wanted to give to him, because I just get so excited. So I gave him his gift, and he opened it, and he was so happy. And then on October 15th, which is International Wave of Light, which is where you light a candle for the babies that you've lost. So on that day, I had a miscarriage, and I lost my fourth baby, and we lost our first baby together. But it's so different this time, because it's not like it was my fault, and he doesn't make me feel like it was my fault. But he and I are on the same page, because we know that when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. So I just have faith in that, because I know that God knows my heart, and God knows his heart, and he will bless us with however many babies that we can have when it's time for us to have babies. So that is something that I cling to, because I know that I'm not alone, and I know that I don't have to do this alone anymore. And my fiance is so quick to remind me whenever I get overwhelmed and I just feel like I can't deal with it, that I don't have to do it anymore. I don't have to do it alone, that he's there with me. And it's amazing. Woo. Yeah, I am so sorry. I'm sorry I messed up the makeup you did on me, Jessica. It was really pretty. But another thing that I wanted to touch on is that with me leaving my ex-husband and now being in a relationship, we're engaged, we're going to be married sometime next year, there's a lot that comes with leaving a marriage that children are involved in. And me and my ex-husband may not have gotten along all the time, but we know that we are a team for our child. So that's one thing that is so important if you ever end up in a situation like I have put myself in, because I'm not going to say I ended up there. I put myself there. I left the marriage. I left him. And that was my decision, because I needed more than he could give me, and that's not his fault. That's not his fault, and it's not my fault that I need more. But if you end up in a relationship like that, where you now never expected to, but have split households, the main thing that I want to say is that you have to be a team for your children, because it's not fair for you to make them pick a parent. We have 50-50 custody. Atlas's dad has him just as much as I have him. And that's how it needs to be for us, because he is a wonderful father. And I don't feel like it, but I'm told that I'm a wonderful mother. and you gotta work together to be the best that you can for your kids. And they have to grow up watching someone love their parents correctly. And now Atlas can see that at my house. He can see me being loved correctly. He can see mommy being happy. And it's so important to never bring your turmoil onto your children, because that is not something that they need to have to process and feel like they're responsible for. So I guess that's it. I'm really sorry I cried the whole time, but apparently I needed a good cry. And talking about my babies always gives me a good cry. Because I never got to meet them, but I miss them. And I know that I'll get to hold them in heaven. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any stories to share, please share them with us. Please share them, and just know that you are not alone. You never have to go through any of this alone. If you just reach out and let us know that you need help, we are here to help you. And we love you. Thank you for watching.